Walmart Business is in the business of helping your business. Regardless of whether you're building bridges, building spreadsheets, or building lesson plans. Ooh, that looks fun. Walmart Business can help save you time, money, and hassle so you can focus on what you're building instead of what your supply closet is missing. In short, we take care of business so you can do more with yours. We're the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Welcome to the Great Coaches Podcast.
To me, being perfect is not about that scoreboard out there.
This is a chance of a lifetime.
When you can understand the person, you can then work towards a common goal.
We are all on the same team.
Know your role and do it to the best of your ability.
Focus on the fundamentals. We've gone over time and time again.
Your defense has got to be better.
Leave no doubt tonight.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
My name is Paul Barnett, and you are listening to the Great Coaches Podcast, where we explore leadership through the lens of high-performance sport by interviewing great coaches from around the world to try and find ideas to help all of us lead our teams better. Our great coach on this episode is the former captain and now head coach of the Romanian National Football team, Mirel Rădoi. Mirel was capped 67 times for the national team. He retired in 2015 and was immediately appointed as the head coach of his old side, FCSB. However, he was quickly sacked because of team underperformance. This did not deter him though, and in 2018 he was appointed coach of the Romanian under-21 side and led them to the semi-finals of the 2019 UEFA Championship. As a result of this performance, Romania qualified for the Olympics in football for the first time in 56 years. Due to his success, he was then named coach of the Romanian senior team in November 2019. Mirel is a passionate and trusting coach who demands the same from his players and staff. He is in an elite club of sportspeople who have both captained and coached their country. And in this interview, you can hear the deep pride he has for Romania and his desire to take them back to the top levels of world football. He is also a self-reflective leader who is keen to engage the players in the way the team prepares and performs. Some of the highlights of this interview for me were his view that in order to be respected, you must first respect others and be decent. And this means you must respect your opponent, staff, and all members of the team. How he actively seeks feedback from the players around 5 key questions after each team training session. And how bringing in a sports psychologist has lifted the confidence of the team both on the training track and in the game. This was a great conversation, and I hope you enjoy it as much as Jim and I did.
We apologise for the audio interference that happens throughout parts of this interview.
The Great Coaches Podcast.
Mirel Rădoi, good morning and welcome to the Great Coaches Podcast.
Thank you very much.
I want to start with a really simple question. Can you tell me where you are in the world today and what you've been up to this morning?
As usual in the office working because we have next week games with the national team. So we have to work. We have to finish the list of the players and we have to manage the things with COVID-19 now because some of the players that are in the country that is difficult to came in Romania. So we have to speak with the government and all the person that they can take care for players to travel easier and to be here in Romania to enjoy the national team.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to get into the interview and I'd like to start by talking about your experience. I was trying to count the number of countries that you have played football in and I got to at least 35 and then I sort of stopped. So my guess is you have seen a lot of coaches up close through your playing experience and your coaching experience. So my first question is, what is it you think the great coaches do differently?
Yeah, it's true that I travel a lot. I have a lot of much experience in football and in life. And I think what I learned from them, and they have a common things, that it's about passion. And everyone, even when I was player, even now when I'm coaching, I travel to see the other coaches when they are training or they have meeting with the staff, how they are planning, everyone speaking about passion. If you don't have a passion, it's better to stay away, give the chance for another young coach that he wants to be a good coach. Then it's also about the trust. And when I'm speaking about the trust, it's first of all, it's the trust between you and your staff. If something gets wrong between you and your staff, for sure there will be problem between you and your team. So for me, those two things, the passion and the trust, we cannot discuss, we cannot negotiate. Even when I choose the team members and the team members of my staff, they should know that without passion and trust, you cannot be part of our staff.
Mirel, how have you gone about developing trust? Is there some exercises or ways that you found effective to start it quickly?
They are not an exercise, I'm the kind of the man that I try to take the things in the life and the people the way how they are. Like me, I am the honest guy. So when I start a discussion with the people that I don't know, but I want to work with me, I start to be honest with them. And I tell them the story, what's happened with my career as a football player, with my career as a coach. What was the bad things in this career and what was the good things. And sharing with them the truth of my career as a player and as a coach, the people, they start to be open and they try to speak frankly with you. And then it can be or not a relation between you and the other person. When you see that the people, they are not sharing something to you, it will be a question mark between you and that person. When you see that the people, they start to be open and speak frankly with you, that's mean you are in the good way.
I'd like to talk about I want to definitely talk about the good things you've done, but I wanted to just take a step back actually and talk about 2015, because straight after you retired, you returned to your old club as head coach. And then shortly after you were fired. But you didn't let this stop you. You kept going, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'd like to just take a deep breath and say, did you ever doubt yourself in 2015? And if so, how did you deal with that?
Yeah, it was difficult for me to deal with that. Why? Because just I finished my career as a player, and I need time to realize that just I was finished as a player and I start as a coach. So between those two careers, it's a huge difference that in that time I didn't believe can be so big gap. And sometimes I behave in the front of the players like I was one of them, like we was colleagues, partners, teammates. So in the end of the day, I was the coach. Sometimes you can be a very good friend of the players, but in the end of the day, you decide, you have the final decision. You are not only a friend of them, you are sometimes like a boss, and you have to behave like that. And I think my relation with them, it was more like we was player than the coach. And then also all the things that I achieve as a player, all the information, I try to expose them like my new philosophy as a coach. And there was a lot of information in my head, but there was nothing very clear for them. There was too many information that I share with them during in one session, 19 minutes. So sometimes when I see them in the game, I can realize that in that week, they have too many information from my side. And they have nothing to do with the game. The fault is all on my shoulders.
So what advice would you have now for other players who are transitioning into being a coach very quickly after retiring?
Or to start taking all the information from the school for the coaching license, to wait at least 1 year. Because when we finish our career as a football player, we have a lot of information. In this time, when you are finished your career, you decide to quit. It's better to start already to improve your information and go direct for coach license. It's difficult to have this very short period to pass from one career to the other without to achieve the things that you need to achieve as a coach, not as a player. So for me, it's easier to say now, and even in that time, that it was my mistake. But after, I tried to realize exactly what was our mistakes. Me as a coach and every member of the staff. And we try to think about. And we find the way that we should be as a coach. Then I go to study more because I said, okay, I'm not enough. To be a good coach, the good coach is not enough. I have to improve myself. I have to achieve more information. I have to behave as a coach, not only as a friend with the players. And this was for me, more ambition, and I motivated myself that he was the club that I will give everything. And I try to give everything, but in the end, the way that I work is not with the same way of the players or the same way with the clubs. So everybody will suffer. Better I quit now and do some changes in the team that maybe another staff will come and they will join more with the players than what we do now. And they will, in the end of the day, they should improve something. Club, coach, and players. And was wrong for everybody. And I decided to make a big step back and to keep the chance for another coach.
You were appointed manager of the Romanian under-21 national team in 2018, and you led them straight away to the semi-finals of the UEFA Championship. What were some of the first things you did when you took over that team?
It was something like, I think, that missing in Romanian football now. The confidence. The players still in Romania, they get talent. They start to be, since last 4 or 5 years, to be more professional every day. And I feel then that they are not so confident during of the games. And I took all the games that I was playing in the last 2 years with the last 3 coaches in the under-21. And I see for any game there was, even was official or friendly, you can see some of the players, they can give more for the team as a quality, individual quality. But they are not doing. Why? And I find, for me, was very important because they don't have too much confidence in themselves. So I have to push this way. And I try to, first thing was I'm thinking, I have to hire sportive psychology. A guy who can be with me, help for the player. And we try to have this meeting around 10 minutes before every session that we have on the national team. But this was the thing that we improve very quickly with under-21. To be player to feel more confident during of the trainings and during of the games. And this was the key for them.
I'd like to talk about the psychologist actually, because you've now been appointed into the national coach and you brought in a psychologist as well. And you said that they have the same status as anyone else on the team, which is a very big comment to make, I think. But what is the difference you're hoping this psychologist is going to make to the national team?
It's a good question. We have something more to work on the big national team now. We try with the small things that sometimes, I don't know, maybe the people they are seeing in the movie or they thinking that they will not help, they will not improve the players or the national team. Before to go in the camp, me and my staff, we discussed about some points that should know about the players. Then we should put some words that they will be mentioned in every discussion that the member of the staff will have. Let's say we are speaking for those 2 games that they will come. Now we speak about discipline. In any discussion that I have individual or with the group as a coach, every time this word will be mentioned, discipline. We will post on the place we will take the lunch, the breakfast, the dinner. The word will be there, discipline. When we make training, there will be exercise that they will involve the discipline word. So we try with this message that for some of the coaches or some of the people, they are thinking, it's easier, but they will help the player, they will improve, they will start to getting the new message from the new staff. It's like everything you want to do is like a training. You will be better only if you train. For me, it's the same way. If you are trying to give them the information step by step, in the end, they will achieve what you want.
You also talk a lot about respect. And when you took over the national team, you said, quote, in order to be respected, you must first respect others and be decent. Why is respect so important to you and your coaching style?
Because when we are speaking about respect, everybody should know that I don't care if one of the players, the youngest one, it's 18, and the oldest one can be the captain of the team, it's 36. He can be his father. The respect you have to be first from the one who is youngest, because our parents and teacher in the school, they are learning that still you are young, 7 years old, you have to say hello everywhere. You are in the supermarket, you are in the cinema, in the theater, whatever. You have to say hello for everyone. So we start to educate from the youngest one that should give respect. You cannot be respected if you don't give respect from the others. So when we speak about the respect, first thing that they should know is whatever who is inside of one room, you have to go there and say hello. From there, we start to speaking about respect. Respect for me is not only that while our teacher or our parents learning. Respect is to respect your enemy. You cannot go inside of the game and to kick one of your opponent without the ball. You cannot go with the elbow. You cannot go to punch someone. It's also that in our philosophy, it's also about respect. It's also about respect. If someone, one of your fan, I don't know, your game is not going the way that you want, and you will shouting against you, you cannot go to him to shout as well. If you want that your fan to claim you because you are playing very good, you have to make something more. Maybe it's not enough what you do in the field. Also, this thing, it's about respect. If you want to be respectful about from your staff, from your coach, from your colleagues, from your fans, from your opponent, you have to have all these things when we speak about respect.
So you've talked about respect. We've talked about discipline. Are there other elements of your coaching philosophy that are important?
Yeah, it's the relation with the players. I'm trying to be not only a coach. I'm trying sometimes because I'm thinking what's happening in Romanian football. Sometimes, especially with the young football players, they go to the school and maybe they have one bad day. They're not improving nothing. I don't know. They didn't make the homework and the teacher start to argue with them. They came at home and parents, they will ask, what you do today to the school? And said, look, I didn't make nothing in my history, math, nothing. Even the parents, they will start to argue with him. Why you go to the school? You have to improve every day. You have to make your own home. Then, afternoon, they will go to the training session. And the coach, he will start to speak. We have to do this, we have to do this. And maybe during of the training, the same player that he argued with his teacher and his parents, he will make some mistakes. And the coach said, why you came today if you are not paying attention in our training session? And that kid, he was once with the teacher, second with the parents, third can be with the coach. I'm not so sure that guy, he will continue in football. And I try to speak with my colleagues. First, when our players, they come to training, we have to discuss with them, how was your day? So you'll not be only coach, you'll be his teacher, his friend, his father, his mentor sometimes. So we have to speak with them about every problem that they can face. For this reason, not that I help myself, I help players. And in the end, you will help your performance as a coach and as a team. Because the players, they see that, oh, the coach cares about me, what I do today in the school, what I do with my parents, with my girlfriend, whatever. And this was, and I think even now, this is one of my big advantage that I go with the players and I try to help them every day. Even if they are leaving from the national team, I call them. How it's your day? What you do in the end of the week? Be careful. I saw that you run a lot during of the game. Don't spend your time in the nightclub. Go at home. Take care. I know that I'm not his coach on the club, but I have to take care because later he will be with me in the national team, and he have to understand that I trust him and he can trust me.
Before you coached the Romanian team, you were the captain of the Romanian team. So I'd like to ask you, what are the best ways for a coach to work with the team leaders?
I was the one that I didn't like to argue with the coaches. I tried to find my way to argue with my teammates. Why? Because I didn't get a lot of talents. What I do through the working every day. So I have to explain them that most of them in our team, they get more talent than me, but they cannot improve in the few years what I achieve in one maybe. Why? Because sometimes there was lazy in the training. They don't care about the program. So I tell them, as a captain of the team and one of the leaders, you should follow me. If you don't follow me, you will not follow the group. If you not follow the group, you will not follow the team. And then it will be easy for the coach to decide for you to be out of the team. And you lose everything. You lose the performance, individual as a group, the relation with your friends, because in the end, we are friends. So you will go for another team and everybody will ask, why did you leave the team? Because you get talent, you are a very good player. Something is wrong, and it's not about your colleagues, it's not about the coach, it's not about the team. It's about yourself. So I try to explain them that nothing can be improved without hard work. Even you can get talent as Messi. Even Messi work every single day in the training.
What about the coach? What advice have you got out there for coaches on working with their captain?
To try to understand them. Especially with the leader, they said, everyone you tell me, look, as a coach, you have to try to understand them. Because in one team, you can find not only the captain, you can find a group of the leaders. It can be 3, 4, 5 players. First thing, you have to learn them. Because sometimes maybe you can go and you speak in front of them with a high voice. For most of them, may will be bothering. They will not be open with you. They will think that you came in that room like a boss, not as a coach, not as a friend of them, as a boss. And then there will be a distance between you and them. If they want to cooperate with you, they don't know if they will come or not to you because they see you that you try to manage to be yourself as a boss.
Walmart Business is in the business of helping your business. Regardless of whether you're building bridges, building spreadsheets, or building lesson plans. Ooh, that looks fun. Walmart Business can help save you time, money, and hassle so you can focus on what you're building instead of what your supply closet is missing. In short, we take care of business so you can do more with yours. We're the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
With its 2 juicy beef patties, 3 slices of melted cheese, and tangy Big Arch sauce, the Big Arch is what happens when you start making a McDonald's burger and never stop. The Big Arch, the most McDonald's burger yet, for a limited time.
Mirel, you come across as being very direct and very clear in your communication. And I'm sure that's a benefit when you're coaching a national team. But it's also not always the best way to give feedback. So are there any ways that you've found more effective at giving feedback to players?
No, I'm trying to give them by each session. What's happened after we finish the session, I'm going in my room because we record every session and I try to look for what was good for that day, for that training, and what was wrong. And when I try to speak what was wrong in a training, I never go in front of them. Because one of them maybe accept the critics with the group. The other one, maybe they will be shamed, they will feel in the bad situation in front of his colleagues. And I tried the worst things to go and to tell them individual. We have even some protocol that we prepare with the national team. By every session, we have 5 questions for the player that they should fill up and answer. How was your training? How was the intensity? How did you feel? What we have to improve? I want to know them opinion. In the end of the day, it's like a feedback from us. It's not that we have only the physical reports, the technical, the tactical, psychology reports. We need to have also from them sides with these 5 questions, what was good, what was wrong. This is not that if I get some negative results, we'll change everything. No, because the training there, we have some things that we will keep always with the national team. There are some rules that everybody will respect. But we have another opinion. So we start to question ourselves. If we can change this thing, or maybe we can improve these things, maybe we can, the level of the intensity we can give a little bit lower, or the technical part we have to improve, or we have to be more balanced on the tactical things. And we start to think about the feedback of the players.
Can you give me an example of something you changed as a result of feedback from the players?
Yeah, it was the game, our first game, under 21 in the European qualification was against Portugal. And because the Portugal is a very strong team with a player like João Felix that was then next year was for 100 and something million to Atletico Madrid, we start to make our homework. And there was a lot of data that we have to give to the players, a lot of information. And in that time, we said we have to be prepared for everything what's going to happen in the game. We have plan A, plan B, plan C. And after the first training that we have, after first session, we have this team question. Everybody in the tactical part, they were saying that there was too many information. From our side, we think that it's good to have many information. During of the game, they will face the problem. They will remember from the training how they behave. And when I see from 23 players that everyone say there was too many information from the tactical view, then I get my stuff every evening. We discussed about the session after we review, and I tell him, here we have a big question mark. Today was too much. And then second day, we go from what we planned before to do, we take out maybe 50% from the information. And this was helping a lot. This also, it's regarding before question, the feedback of the player. It helped us a lot. In the end, we beat Portugal.
Fantastic. Great result. Congratulations.
Good.
Could I talk about, in any team, there are often negative influences. It happens all the time. How have you managed to deal with these situations where you've had negative influences within the team?
Yeah, they are like the players that they are not happy when you see the first 11, they are not happy. Then they are going the bench. Some of them, they are not playing. They are only 3 substitutions. So they feel embarrassed. Why my colleague play? I'm not playing today. And they start to behave. Next day on the training, you can see that they are not giving 100%. They are like upset. What I do, I try to speak with them one by one. And I explain them one thing. If you are unhappy that you are not playing, from 22 players, I have only 11 choices and 3 substitutions. Sometimes maybe I am the guy who choose wrong. But you as a player, how you can prove me that I was wrong? It's only one way. Next day on the training, you have to give more what you give me before. If you are going during of the game, you have to go inside and you have to do more than the player that you replace. You have to give an assist, you have to give more effort, you have to score. Otherwise, if you will not bring something good during of the game or next day on the training, you show me that I was right to keep you on the bench or outside from the squad. If you will come inside of the game and you decide one game, you will show me that I was wrong against you. And I'm obliged next game to put you in the team.
And do you tell them that before the team's announced or after the team is announced?
No, first. I explain them. For me, the player who they are in the bench, they are more important from the player who they start the game. Why? Because during of the game, you already got your information before the game. But you will get the information also during of the game. You see your opponent, how he's behaved during of the situation that we discussed before. You have more information than the player that they start the game. So when you go, you are ready. You know the information from the staff and you know already live from your opponent.
That's a great answer, Mirel. What a fantastic insight. Thank you. I would like to just ask you about your learning. I mean, you talked before about your advice being go get your coaching license. But of course, your education doesn't stop there. It continues, always continues. Have there been any resources, books, television shows, anything, particularly during COVID, that you found useful as a resource to help you with coaching?
A lot. And I try any information that I can take on the internet, on the books, whatever coach I will go for 1 week to follow him, to see the training, to see everything. I try to get all the information that I have from any source, because now if you open the internet, you are writing football, for sure there will appear thousands of information. I cannot have that information. It's only excuse now. In the moment that you open the internet, you will find everything. You cannot say that I didn't know how to press, I didn't know how to defend. You cannot. It's only excuse because we have a lot of information. If we get these excuses that we don't have the information, how was the coach 20 or 30 years ago without any online information? How they can improve themselves and they have these results? It's embarrassing for us to say that I didn't find nothing.
You got some examples of things like that you found particularly interesting?
Yes, I find as a coaching plan to Klopp something very interesting. the way how he tried to manage all his exercise during of the training, that it can be a progression only by physical part. You have to be all the things in one way. Before we was learning that first when we start the exercise for the training, we have to go step by step to improve our physical parts as a player to be easier to don't get injured. But at the same time, what I see in Klopp and now also in Guardiola, that they are going with the information from every parts, physical, tactical, and technical. They are going all these 3 steps progressively. When they will finish in the end of the last exercise, 10 against 10, 11 against 11, 9 against 9, whatever, the players, they will get all the information that they receive in any exercise, they should improve in the last one. What you achieve in the first floor, you have to put in the 5th one. So all the information that you get in the first 4 exercise, in the last one, the coach should see it there. And this for me was very interesting thing, because I was thinking, I was afraid only for the physical part, not also the other things. And now I see that you can go step by step with all of them at the same time.
You've been very generous with your time. I know you've got to get back to the team because they're coming into quarantine, into lockdown with you tomorrow. So just one final question. And I know it's a strange one to ask someone that's still so young in their coaching journey. But I want to ask you, what is the legacy that you want to leave as a coach?
I know that if the president and the technical director, they will hear me now, they said, you're a crazy one. The legacy that I want to leave behind, it's that the player, they improve something during our staying with the national team. I care more, even if I lose one game, I'm not afraid about result. I want that the player enjoy. I'm the coach that I like the philosophy just to playing, to enjoy. If you are going in the pitch without enjoying, it's better to stay close to me in the bench. We are enjoying more than the players. If you're not going with enjoy, with the passion to play, it's better to stay with me. So always I explain that to the players. For the club team or national team, I tell them like that, guys, if you are going in the pitch and you are not enjoying, better we go and we see a movie. We go in the cinema and we will enjoy a lot. You have to enjoy. It's not about result. It's the way how you play, the way how you go in the field. I don't want to see the player that always, I don't know, we receive the goal and I see all the players with the head down. No, you have to smile. Why? Because you have to get your power from inside to show your opponent. I don't care today if you score. You can score one more time, I will smile because I will know in the end of the game, I will go and I will win this game.
Oh, it's a great answer. Thank you so much for sharing. Mirel, it's been wonderful chatting with you today. Best of luck for the journey ahead with the team. I am looking forward to toasting the team's success as they move forward. So congratulations and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Anytime, I'm happy to discuss.
The Great Coaches Podcast.
Hi everyone, it's Jim here. You've been listening to our discussion with Mirel Rădoi. Mirel brings great energy to his role as coach, and you can hear the pride he has for his nation and the desire he has for them to return to the top levels of world football. I especially liked his view that if you don't play with passion and enjoyment, then it's better not to play and just sit on the bench and watch. How giving too much information to players can distract them on the pitch, and when this happens, the fault lies with the coach. And how being the head coach means sometimes you'll have to play the role of teacher, father, friend, and mentor, and be prepared to talk to them about every problem they can face. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. Coming up next on the Great Coaches Podcast, we'll be speaking to South African rugby coach Hanneke Meyer.
So for young coaches in there and people under pressure, you have to embrace pressure, because what's the use of not being under pressure? Then you can just coach and you can play against teams where you win every single game by 100 points. There's no challenge in that. So you have to be challenged to grow. So I like to embrace the pressure, and there's nothing, I played against a lot of countries on my teams, and for me it was nothing more. I never felt more alive than facing the haka, and I've lost a lot of those games, but for me it was unbelievable. So that's why I said you have to enjoy what you're doing, embrace the pressure, and that's why you coach.
And just before we go, coaches are not usually the type of people who seek the spotlight, and so if you can put us in contact with a great coach that you know has a unique story to share, then we would love to hear from you. You can contact us using the details in the show notes.